So if you're living in Philadelphia and want to get away, I highly recommend what me and my family did just a couple weeks ago. But before I talk about it, let's make sure that you like this video, smash the subscribe button, and let's go. Okay, so this past November, my husband gifted me and my daughter a cruise to the Royal Caribbean Anthem of the Seas, and so we just got back middle of April. And what's great is it's only an hour and a half from City Hall, so it's a very easy drive. You don't have to worry about flights to Florida and getting the cruise ship there. This way you have extra days of sailing. It's less stress just driving to the port, and there's just so much to do. So I can't even describe the feeling of walking back up to a cruise ship and just being blown away by the size of it. And once you get in, just seeing all the lights, all the shops, all the people. It was the greatest feeling. I was so overwhelmed and happy just being back on a cruise ship, and this time with my family. And if you're wondering what activities to do for kids, I can only speak of my daughter. She was 12 at the time of this, the sailing. And so she was kind of in like the 12 to 14, the teen room. So it was like 12 and older. So they had what's called a living room where you can drop them off and they can meet their friends there. But they also kind of had full run of what was the Seaplex, and that was a big open area. They had bumper cars, they had air hockey tables, they had foosball, they had arcade, they had movies also by the outdoor pool. So there was never a shortage of activities and fun things offered to the kids. If you want to know what you can do together with your kids, I can say that they had a musical. This past cruise ship, they had the We Will Rock You musical, so that was a lot of Queen songs. My daughter loved that. She just recently got into musicals like Hamilton. They had silent disco, so if you don't know what it is, it's a trip. So you walk into the room, they hand you headphones, you put it on, and that's where you hear the music, and you can kind of flip between two stations. So you head to the dance floor, and it's funny because some people are moving a certain way based on what song they're listening to. And it was just one big dance party. So it's fun if you take it off for a second, you kind of look around and everyone's just doing their thing. So that was a really fun experience for my daughter. Ships also sometimes have bands, at least on this one. Instantly fell in love with this Aerosmith tribute band called Aeromyth. I went to all 3 of their shows. They were so fun to watch. And it was great because my daughter got to, the last show, she got to watch with us. And yeah, so the bands are a great time. And there's also karaoke. So if you and your family love singing, you can always do that at one of the bars that they offer it at. Now, if you're looking for strictly adult activities, some of the fun things that we did, I think the first one that we attended was called the Love and Marriage Show, where they had 3 couples come on stage. And I think the first round they took the men behind the scenes, behind the stage, so they couldn't hear their wives talk. And so you're answering questions like, how well do you know their spouse? Do you know your spouse? And it was just hilarious to see what answers they shared. Some were I was just shocked by some of their answers. It was definitely not kid friendly, the material they talked about, but a great time if you're an adult. They also had comedy shows and they do market on the on the cruise planner, if it's like a, all ages comedy show or if it's just for adults. So they had a great comedian on board as well. If you're into gambling, they have the casino, which, it was a very good size and they had a lot of variety. My husband and I were not big gamblers, but the only thing we did in the casino, they had the first day, learn to play certain games. So we kind of sat around and learned how to play craps. And if you're into dancing, they have the nightclub that opens up at 11:45 p.m. And I think the DJ was there till about 1 a.m., if not a little bit longer. So it was fun to kind of just see everyone out on the dance floor and just having a great time. So as far as dining, there was never a shortage of food. So I would highly recommend, in addition to, all the free food that comes along with a cruise, definitely checking out some of their specialty restaurants. We went to Izumi and had phenomenal sushi. And then we went to Wonderland. So anyone that's a big fan of Alice in Wonderland, highly recommend. The atmosphere was magical, if you will, where when you sat down, they had a picture frame, they give you a paintbrush and a cup of water, and you had to, wet the frame, inside the frame, and to reveal what the menu is that evening. So as you'll see, they had food prepared in such a unique, fun way. Even their drinks were just fascinating to watch. For example, I ordered the Cheshire Cat, and so they brought out a martini glass filled with cotton candy, pink cotton candy, and then they pour the drink into it and it disappears just like the Cheshire Cat. And for the kids, they do offer mocktail versions of any of the adult drinks. So for the ports, this cruise ship stopped at Port Canaveral. So from there, we took an hour ride to Universal and got to go on all the rides. So highly recommend that if you're looking to just get away and just have fun with the family. And the second stop that we went to was Koko K. That was my favorite place. It's Royal Caribbean's private island. So, after you enter Koko K, the Thrill Water Park is right there. And so if you like water rides, highly recommend. My daughter spent the entire day at Koko K only at the Thrill Park. So, she had fun with her friends, and me and my husband, we just took the time to explore all the other parts of the island. They have a tram car, so you can kind of hop on, takes you to the different beaches, and they also had a huge pool. I think it's one of the largest pools in North America. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what it says. And so they had parts of the pool that were more chill, relaxing, quiet, but the closer you got to the swim up bar, that was where the party was. They had a DJ there, so it was fun, and it just, no matter what you're looking for, you could find, a great time there. So for Nassau, that was the last stop in the Bahamas that we went to, and we just did the historical walking tour. And my daughter, for whatever reason, wanted to get back on the boat. She wasn't really feeling it, so it was actually kind of nice because everyone was out, and the boat was kind of empty, so we kind of had full run of it. Went to the Solarium, which is only, it's an enclosed area only for 16 years old and older. So me and my husband, we had great seats just looking out to the ocean, and it was nice just having kind of a quiet time on the boat to ourselves. So if I can leave you with 5 tips of what I took away from this cruise, so that hopefully it will help you for your next one. The first tip is make sure that you pack a bathing suit in your travel bag, your backpack, getting on the ship, because you don't want to wait for them to deliver your luggage to be able to get in the pool. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, get the drink package if you are a drinker. It was nice not to have to worry about closing out a tab each time. We saw people that didn't have it and they would just have to sign off on every drink, and meanwhile you have just your card if you have the drink package, and just give that to the bartender and you're all set. One thing that we discovered was at the Johnny Rockets on the cruise ship, they make adult milkshakes, so highly recommend you check them out. The third tip, go early for the shows, maybe half an hour if you want to get a good seat. We notoriously came right at the start of the show, so it was either we were standing or we had a seat way in the back. I mean, the seats were fine, you can still view the stage, but if you want to be close, definitely get there early. Fourth tip is book your dining, shortly after you get on the cruise ship, or if not beforehand. I know we booked our dining for the specialty restaurants like Azumi and Wonderland, I think a day or 2 before we boarded the ship. So if you didn't do it prior, definitely do it as soon as you get on to secure your spot at the restaurants. The 5th tip, which I kind of touched on, is take advantage of port days. Like I said, the ship's gonna be a lot more empty, so whatever you want to try out that you'd have a line for or wait for, you can just jump on. Like I said, the Solarium was wonderful. It was so relaxing, and pretty much had the whole entire space just to ourselves and a few other people. So I hope that helped, and let me know, drop in the comments what you like to do to get away when you live in Philadelphia. And I will see you in the next video.